Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Quebec, Canada to be exact. I am Andrew Spears. We are the United Racing Network, and joining me tonight is Jacob, Mr. Burton. Jacob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, you know, down in Homestead, Miami last night, flying up to cold Quebec today. It is definitely a culture shock or a weather shock per se. Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, or I can't say the name of it.
Easiest way I've heard to pronounce it is Gilles-Villeneuve.
Yeah,
So,
well, I'm not saying that.
I guess there's another name that we like to call it last time, which is was it Circuit of Montreal or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's it. Circuit of Montreal is what we called it last time.
So I don't know either one, but it's effectively the same track. So, but we're here.
Yeah, we are here, and it's going to be a good time for sure. Looking at track temps right now, it's going to be a cool, crisp 71 degrees tonight. 73 degrees on track tonight. We do have multi-class racing at its finest. GT3 series and LMP2s here for the J2iRS series. It's going to be a fun night. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Make sure you go give those channels a follow, all of them if you will. And let's get down to the action on track. Jacob, DCR5, who actually had a pretty good set last week, is running in the LMP2 series today.
Yeah, he definitely had a very strong showing in the sprint series, and I'm expecting to see the same thing here with the endurance.
Yep, and Erico setting in second right now in practice for the LMP2s. But going back to these GT3s, it's going to be fun to see. As you see, looks like it may have been you-know-who grabbing that wall there. These GT3 cars are going to be pretty cool to watch tonight, just for the main reason that there's so much tight racing on this track. It's going to be hard to see what's going on. Getting word that Brando is out tonight, but he's going to be able to watch the action go down. Yep, we're going to be live the entire time. Us as announcers will be taking two breaks, one at the 30-minute mark of the race, one at the hour mark of the race, and we'll follow it all the way to the end. But you guys will not miss any of the action. So that's the only changes, or only I guess stops tonight that we can discuss. Fuzzy Tacos actually has put down a fast time for LMP2s, 125.507, and actually there's an 8 seconds difference between the GT3s and the LMP2s, because Dickinson is sitting at a 133.775.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the multi-class racing on this track, because this track is extremely narrow. Like, I think this is probably one of the narrowest tracks that we've been to thus far. And especially with multi-class having LMP2s and GT3s, this could get interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch these cars go by one another. It's all going to be about setting up passes and being patient. These LMP2 cars have got to be patient tonight, because they are dealing with a group of guys that are about 8 seconds slower. So it's going to be interesting to see. Actually, the corner they just left from, I call it the hairpin. That's what I'm going to refer to it as tonight. We've seen it upset a lot of cars last week.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a killer for a lot of these guys, a lot of the guys that were in the sprint series. It's a hard turn to make. You got to set it up really precisely, and if you don't, you're going to have some trouble. So hopefully these guys, especially, I'm a little worried about the LMP2s, being that they go faster. They've got to mind their brakes and figure out where their braking zone is going to be for that turn in particular.
Yes, for sure. We will see a few pit stops happen tonight. We should see a tire run as well on one of the pit stops. I'm thinking two pit stops tonight on this hour-and-a-half race. We've seen the drivers on track. Jacob, who do you got?
I mean, I would be cliche and say, you know, someone like Dickinson or Erico or whatever, but I guess, I don't know. I want to pick someone new, but I haven't really seen much of these guys on this track, at least yet. So I don't know. Depending on qualifying times and whoever can improve upon each other's times, whoever passes and whatever, we'll see. Generally, don't like to make choices this early, but I don't want to make them too late because then it just seems like I'm kind of bandwagoning. But you know, sometimes I'm not really given an option.
Well, how about this? We've got 20 minutes of qualifying ahead of us. First 10 minutes belongs to LMP2s. We're going to set this thing on autopilot, and we're going to watch some of the some of the faster cars out on track tonight. We'll be right back here in about five or so minutes. As time start rolling in here, Lieutenant Dan has the fastest lap of the evening for qualifying, setting at a 125.78. Second place belongs to DC5R with the 126.27. He is still in contention to get some of the faster lap times. He is back on pit lane here, still looking to get some of the fastest lap times on track. doing it smart by getting a brand new car every time he gets off pit lane. Intergalactic Gentleman and Fuzzy Tacos have a close battle right now for that third position. Actually, take that back. DC5R just fell. Squillum and Erico have both overtook. And Fuzzy Tacos.
Good old Fuzzy. Interested to know where he got that name, Fuzzy Tacos. It seems like there's a story behind that.
I'm sure there is.
It's probably not PG-13 though. I don't know if we can talk about that.
Probably not. Lieutenant Dan, he always does well with these LMP2 cars, as you see him whipping around the track right now at a very, very quick rate right now.
Yeah, Lieutenant he's a very, very strong driver. I mean, we mention it every time. He knows how to drive these cars. He knows how to take the corners, and he knows his braking zones. He's very, very good at what he does, and he's always the one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna watch right here. He's up to 150 miles an hour on the straightaway and still picking up speed. 170, almost 180. He's at 180 now. 182 before he gets into the brakes there.
My goodness.
So close to the wall coming off there.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Jeez.
Simply Steve is sitting in third now, overtaking Lieutenant Dan, and actually Erico, Fuzzy Tacos, Simply Steve all have overtaken Dan. Actually, I take that back one more time. Fuzzy Tacos and Simply Steve have tied for second right now, according to our live timing.
Oof. That's going to be a battle for sure right there, trying to figure out which one's going to get the better time.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here, so it's showing... Yeah, it's definitely quick. So Fuzzy Tacos has got a 1.25.556, and Simply Steve has got a 1.25561. So less than
less 500s right there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very rare you see him get that close in times like that, but shoo-wee. That's not. You said 556 and then 561, right?
Yeah, 556 and 561. So yeah, you're right about.
That's 5,000s. That's even closer.
Like I said,
I thought it was
my
500s.
actual screen over here that gives me my information shows them tied right now for second. I'm actually using the information off of the screen here. It's showing 4 1,000ths of a second is the interval between the two.
My goodness. I was calculating the numbers in my head, and I was like, that's 500s, isn't it? And then I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute, no, that's 5,000s. That's even harder to achieve.
Yeah, very close in times, meaning they're going to be very close on race day. Today is race day, so we'll see who's going to win that battle. Actually, DCR and Eat My Dust has gotten as close as 2 1,000ths.
Oh, my.
Eat My Dust and DCR5 are sitting at a 1.62.265 for Eat My Dust and 1.26.267 for DC5R.
That is just unbelievable. I mean, these are going to be some very hotly contested battles. I can see it now.
Yeah, all night long we're going to see it. It's going to be very tight all night long. Out of the lap times that are on track right now, Erica will be our leader as it sits right now. If the caution or the checker flag would wave on these guys. We're going to take a lap here with Erico. I'm sorry, we're going to take a ride with Fuzzy Tacos. I'm really curious on how these cars take this last chicane going back onto the front stretch here. Down to first gear, it looks like. Hitting the sausage curbs, and that is a lap around Circuit of Montreal.
Yeah, they're going down into first gear, and it seems like to me that that's more of a control thing, being able to control the car in a better way, going down to a lower gear.
Yeah, I believe so. GT3 cars are entering track right now. All the qualifying for LMP2s is complete. They have entered pit lane, and now it is a GT3's turn. Cannon Racer's a new one, isn't it? I don't remember that one.
I have not seen that name before, so I'll have to do some research right quick.
Dickinson's on track for any of the fans out there of his.
So Cannon Racer is not new. According to our Discord server, he's been in for quite some time. He's been in for almost 2 years now. Coming up in January, it'll be 2 years.
Maybe he's not a full-time racer.
Maybe not, but we have not seen him race, so he's new to us. Ooh. What happened back there? That was interesting.
I'm not sure. I don't see anything on track with it. Looks like AJ is still trying to complete his lap here, it looks like. Or maybe he got a penalty and has to qualify with the GT3 guys.
Yeah, seems kind of interesting.
These guys, most of the guys have out of their out lap and on to qualifying laps. Somebody from Twitch is saying, go Book. Yep, Book is on track right now in the green, looks like Ferrari.
Very simple paint scheme.
Yeah, very simple.
Just a simple green and white. Not too bad.
We got some times starting to roll in here slowly. Got some guys fixing to pass the start finish here. You know who puts down a 134.82. Pender Person puts down a 134.41. Looks like we may have to redo our skins here shortly.
Maybe.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do that while we are qualifying. We'll just keep a notification up so they can see who we're looking at here. But we're gonna go ahead and refresh skins. It'll be white for just a second. All cars on track.
Paints.
Yeah. Well, I'm having to run iRacing as an administrator because of the paint issue we were having with Nelly a few weeks ago. The only fix is to run iRacing as an administrator, which makes me having to run live timing as an administrator to actually operate it. So it's just a whole big rigmarole.
Yep, technical issues. We've dealt with them many times.
We're very familiar with technical issues, unfortunately. So what happens when you put me in charge?
It would happen with anybody. It would happen with anybody, that is for sure.
I will say most of the computer knowledge I have learned over the years has been from you.
That's true.
I mean, I'm sitting over here coding the freaking program like a pro now, so.
Yeah, but that's just more trial and error, and that's just from like the very, very basic knowledge that I
Oh,
have.
you gonna let me? You gonna spoil my parade here?
Yeah, but, I mean, you almost have more knowledge than me. I don't. Oh my goodness, he went up on 2 wheels there. You have slightly more knowledge than me now because I don't deal with CSS and all that.
Yeah.
I have extremely basic knowledge. I barely. I mean, I can read it, but I can't write it. You can write it, at least to a point.
Yeah, to a point. Captain CK, our first Canadian, sitting on a 3rd position right now, but Penderperson is sitting 1st. If he can hold it for another 5 minutes, it's his. He'll be starting 1st. Joshua Spears went off track. Oh!
Oh my! What the heck? He tried Ross Chastain in wrong track, but I mean, he tried.
I'm looking here because I know I heard somebody wreck hard.
Yeah, it was when we were going to the replay screen. Somebody had wrecked it. Maybe it was Cannon Racer.
Nicolator
No,
just cutting the track there.
Yeah, that's not the one that I saw.
Somebody grabbed that inside wall hard. Maybe in Cannon Racer right there.
I think it was right. It was pretty much right in that area, I believe, where someone just spun it right around, got perpendicular with the track. I'm not sure who it was.
Actually, you know who has knocked the Canadian out of a podium spot? Or I say podium, a top 3 starting position for Captain CK. You know who has? You know who has posted a 134.82 where Captain CK has posted a 134.94. A lot more. I'm going to say this very nicely. Don't get upset, anybody. But what I'm seeing so far is the times that I'm seeing put it together by the GT3 guys have not been as consistent as the LMP2s.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way, but I guess there's a point to that because the LMPs are a little bit more. I guess the LMPs are all the same. They're all Dallara P217s, so they all kind of handle the same. They all just exactly the same, aside from paint scheme, really.
Yeah.
But the GT3s are all different. They all have different characteristics aerodynamically, different shapes and sizes and all that sorts of stuff. So, of course, they're not going to be very consistent because, well, they're not all the same like the Dallaras.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot more BMWs on track than I have anything else.
BMW is definitely a popular manufacturer in this league, I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take a short break. Get ready for this long race ahead of us. We'll be right back. Qualifying is complete. And it looks like Dickinson, Penderperson, and you know who will be your top 3 going into this 90-minute race ahead. Love to see it for sure. These guys are going to be battling all night long, gaining every bit of action or every bit of position they can get on track. Just to familiarize these guys, or these guys in the chat here, who are not familiar with the way these guys start. LMP2s will start first. They will get about a 30-second gap, or about a 10-second gap, over the GT3 series. Now, they will be rolling starts. They will not be standing starts. And once the LMP2s are out of the sights, they'll roll off 10 seconds behind, and the race will start for both series. It's going to be very humbling on that first lap, getting everybody up to speed. We may see some accidents going into these corners, may see some accidents going into these chicanes. But that's all part of racing here at Circuits of Montreal. Montreal is in Quebec, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so.
Yes, question mark. That's all I needed to hear.
As far as my Canadian knowledge goes, I do believe it is in Quebec or Quebec, depending on how you pronounce it.
Biker Pilot will tow to pit lane. As we get ready to grid here, we're going to take a look at the qualifying, the official qualifying times for the series. LMP2s. There's your starting lineup for the LMP2s. Erico, Fuzzy Taco, Simply Steve, Lieutenant Dan Squillum is your top 5. DC5R, Intergalactic Gentleman, AJ, and Eat My Dust, 6, 7, 8, and 9. GT3s here. Your top 10 is going to be Dickinson, Penderperson, You Know Who, Joshua Spears, Biker Pilot, Dean, Long Island Nerd, Cannon Racer, and Garlic Dog. Rounding out the field.
Captain CK.
I said Captain CK.
No, you didn't. You went from Joshua Spears to Biker Pilot.
Oh, well, Captain CK's in 5th. 11th is Book. 12th, Prince Adams. 13th, Nicolator. And 14th, Junior McKinn. You had to correct me.
Apparently, Junior McKinn did not qualify. Said he had no time.
Yeah, he probably having to start from the pits tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe. And yes, I had to correct you because, you know, it's important not to miss the Canadian, Captain CK.
I guess you got a point there. I guess you got a point.
I do indeed.
Penderperson sitting behind a row of LMP2s that will not be in his way come the start of this race.
Yeah, but I don't imagine it's going to be too long before they start mixing in.
Yeah, I give it 5 laps maybe. Erico, this is a sight that he likes to see. Nobody in front but the safety car.
It's a sight everybody likes to see. It depends on if they can keep it that way. Keep themselves in the front.
Yeah, he needs to keep himself in the front there as much as he can. As they come down, that pace car will just stay off straight, heading to the pit lane. It's a beautiful Porsche leading these cars. It's the number 24 car of Eat My Dust, warming up as much as he can of those tires. We're getting ready to go green here at Circuits of Montreal. We will be green here at Circuits of Montreal with the LMP2s. Here comes the GT3s. rounding out. They're trying to get as much of a gap on them as they can here. Take back a look at the action here through the first chicane. The LMP2s do a great job. GT3s are rounding out the final chicane, coming down the front stretch, and Penderperson and Dickinson will lead their respective lines down to the first chicane. Let's watch it. You see everybody giving everybody as much space as they need going through these corners. Taking back a look at the LMP2 series here. Leading up front is going to be Erico over Lieutenant Dan and Fuzzy Tacos. You see how close these guys are together. Coming through here, the hairpin turn. This is what I'm going to refer to this turn as tonight. The hairpin. Everybody gets through okay. Side-by-side action coming out of the hairpin.
Sure, there's probably a specific name for that hairpin, but we're just going to refer to it as hairpin.
It's a French name that I cannot say. That's why I call it the hairpin, because it is.
Those darn French.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody seems to be filing out in their respective lines. Good job, everybody. No need to make a mistake early. Put yourself out of the race. You got to be there. While you're there at lap 1, first minute, you need to be there at lap 90, whatever the last lap's going to be, to make a move on the leaders. Book knows that. Garlic Dog knows that. Joshua Spears definitely knows that. And Captain CK 100% knows that.
I feel like pretty much everybody knows that.
I don't know. I've seen some people stick it 3 wide where they shouldn't have.
That's true. I've seen that before. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. Just see how close these cars are together here. We're going to watch from the rear camera. Watching on to Simply Steve here as they get ready to hit this hairpin.
Ooh, up on 2 wheels there.
Yeah, you see everybody up on 2 wheels. Looks like Prince Adams has had an accident. No damage that I can see. Where AJ has crashed as well. AJ is off the pace from everybody else. Losing 1 position so far.
Doesn't seem like he has any damage either, so may have just been an off-track incident.
Joshua Spears, no relation to me, in 5th right now in the 84 BMW. These guys have all settled in for the most part. Simply Steve is stopped on track right now.
It seems like he may have had an incident and then kept it off the track. Make sure he didn't run into anybody.
I'll watch it here. He may have actually got a slowdown penalty. He may have got a slowdown because he didn't wreck. It just showed him going off track there.
That's interesting.
Not sure what happened there. Eat My Dust in 4th right now. Erico Squillum DC5R is your top 3 in that order. Dickinson, Penderperson, You Know a Who is your GT3 leaders right now. Dickinson's not pulling away from Penderperson too much.
No, and I wouldn't expect him to, at least for right now.
It looks like Simply Steve actually hit pit lane as well.
Oh. That's weird.
Unless he grabbed something or, got something up in the tires. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I'd be interested to find out.
Like he's still sitting on pit lane right now. Pit lane time's 35 seconds. Pit box time is 15 seconds. Keep an eye on that. Simply Steve is falling back to the field right now. GT3s, he's not had a chance to actually get around the GT3s. He's been on pit lane now for 58 seconds total. Something has definitely happened to that car. The way he slid into that corner, he may have had a brake failure of some sort. He is out on track again. He's got 1:16 on pit lane, 47 seconds total.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
I mean, neither. Battle on track right now for first between Erico and Squillum. Squillum is about a second back from Erico for the LMP2. And looks like Dickinson is about a second back from the leader on the GT3 side. Looking here, Long Island Nerd is battling for the 7th position with Dean. Biker Pilot sitting all alone, nobody around him. The guy in the front's about 3 seconds ahead, and the guy in the back is about 3 seconds back. So he's sitting alone right now on track. That could hurt him or it could help him, depending on how much clean air he's able to get.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be using that to his advantage, trying to keep it wide open, don't have anything to worry about.
And about 7 minutes into the race so far, it does look like the LMP2s have caught up to the GT3 cars as they start making their passes. Simply Steve is in the mix as well.
Wouldn't take too long for these guys to mix in, so this is going to be a test of patience and a test of whether they can pass each other cleanly and keep it all together.
Yeah, Prince Adams has crashed, it looks like. Getting an eye here. Simply Steve right in front. He does get around there. In the middle of the track.
He some bumps and gets loose.
Gets loose and does get it going back straight before anybody can reach him.
Yep, keeps it all together, so good on him.
Dickinson is starting to gain the lead over Penderperson right now, moving it up to about 2 seconds ahead of everybody.
Yeah, it's been a common thing with Dickinson. Oh wow, he almost had all 4 wheels off the ground. Been a common thing with Dickinson, just pulling away. He's an incredible driver. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I'm not sure really how he does it either. I mean, I couldn't. I'm an oval racer myself. I mean, I can race Watkins Glen a little bit. But that's about it. So Tonlo, I'm not seeing Tonlo on track tonight that I can see.
Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed that, but that's disappointing for sure.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember who Sean is. Dickinson, I think, maybe? Racer Mom,
yeah,
can you confirm with that for me? Because I don't quite remember.
I think Dickinson or Sean is Dickinson, if I remember correctly.
Thank you, Nation, for the follow on Twitch. We do appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Dickinson is the leader right now, Racer Mom. And he's been pretty dominant so far for the GT3 side of things. I'll go back and check on the action here for the LMP2s. Erico has put 2 GT3 cars. I think take that back, 1 car between him and Squillum here. Simply Steve is still through the mix of the GT3 cars, trying to make it back up there to the front of LMP2 cars, but he's just having a tough time right now, as he had an incident earlier on track, caused him to hit pit lane and sitting there for over a minute. You see DC5R right here. Using a little bit of the draft from the GT3 car, but he's just that much faster. You know, we've seen it in qualifying. The qualifying times were 8 seconds difference over these guys. So. Okay, I thought that on the side of that orange car said something hub. It says thonk. It says thonk hub.
Well, good thing it didn't.
I was wondering.
Yeah, good thing it didn't say anything else. Otherwise, we would.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I was gonna have to figure out how to blur live content.
Live censoring, yeah. I don't think we have the money to be able to do that. That's probably expensive.
I got my theory on how they actually do it IRL, but I don't know for sure.
Well, I think mostly it's the broadcast and stuff in like actual TV broadcasts are on a delay, and they put it through a. This is what I can theorize anyway. They put it through a bit of a different channel, and then they do some processing on it, and then they send it out.
Yeah, hang on to that thought, because we have a battle on track for first for the LM. Well, Simply Steve's not in the mix. He just got lapped by Erico and Squillum, but these two up front are battling hard, and Simply Steve's just trying to maintain what he can. And Simply Steve almost grabs the rear end of Squillum there.
Yeah, he almost did. Good thing he avoided that. And I gotta say, Squillum, I did not expect him to be up in the front in terms of the LMP2s, because he's a racer that I haven't seen up in front very much. Usually be like Eat My Dust or Lieutenant Dan, but Squillum, he's gonna be one I keep my eye on.
Yeah, you can see how they're having to be patient getting around these cars. Erico knew to tuck in behind these GT3 guys to set that corner up, and that almost was detrimental for Squillum there. As you see these guys making their way through traffic, this is like going down I-85 in Atlanta right now, trying to get through the traffic on track. You can see how tight it is. He's driving like I do when I'm trying to get to Florida. My Lord. Oh, somebody's wrecked behind.
Uh-oh.
Look at, I'm just going to go to the chopper cam here and check this out. You can see these guys all battling around.
Are they bump drafting?
No. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think that's allowed under IMSA rules.
Oh, somebody just cut the track on them there. And we've got a major pileup coming into the chicane.
What the heck?
So we've got a few incidents to look at here. Canyon Racer
just went from nothing to something here in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, it did. So this is Canyon Racer had an incident. You see him just get loose there, spins in front of the entire field, gets it off track. It's a good job. Simply Steve was in an incident. We're going to catch up to the battle here in just a second. But Simply Steve had an incident. Now, Simply Steve is the one that got loose or went to pit road earlier. He actually slides in the middle of the track, causing the GT3 cars to have to go around.
Yeah, he couldn't really move there. He just had to keep it in the middle of the track and have everybody go around him.
And this is the big one that we was watching earlier, the big battle between everybody. Captain CK gets a little loose there.
Ooh.
Doesn't pick anybody up, but you can see how much traffic these guys are having to deal with as they come out of that corner. And Long Island Nerd is showing to have went off track. That's the last one. Yeah, he went off track there. He should have got a time penalty. Serve that really quick and get back on it. Let's get back to the action up front here, though.
Yeah.
Erico has seemed to held off on Squillum. Does a good job holding Squillum off, but man, I tell you what, that was some tight battling going through the back end of this track, and we knew it was going to happen. This track is so tight, we knew it was going to happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some of this stuff happened during the sprint race, and it's even more prevalent here in the endurance.
Yeah, the sprint race last week where there was racing the Porsche Cup cars. It was just we knew it was going to be an issue with these LMP2s. We didn't know how much of an issue, but you've seen these guys weaving in and out of traffic, and it just takes one GT3 car to mess up and go on, make a move when these cars are approaching.
Yep, it does not take much to do something pretty big like we saw.
Thank you, Soul Glow Jeeves, for the follow on Twitch about a minute ago. We do appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the content. We also are live on Facebook and YouTube. If you don't mind, go give those a follow. You can find them in the About section. All right, we're going to run through the field real quick, check out who is where. We'll start with the GT3 Series. GT3 Series first belongs to Sean Dickinson. Second, Penderperson. Third, Joshua Spears. Fourth, Biker Pilot. Dean is sitting in fifth. Nicolator sixth. Nerd is in seventh. Eighth is Dog. Garlic Dog, to be exact. Ninth is Book. 10th is Junior McKen, who we are watching right now. 11th is Captain CK. 12th is Cannon Racer. 13th is Prince Adams. And 14th is You Know a Who. Take a look here at the LMP2 cars here. Erico is sitting in first by about a second. Squillum is hot on his tail. Hotter than a hot potato coming right out of the microwave, I tell you that. DC5R is sitting in third. Dan sitting in fourth. Eat My Dust is in fifth. Intergalactic Gentleman in sixth. AJ in seventh. Eighth is Fuzzy Tacos. And Simply Steve is trying to maintain whatever position he can maintain, sitting in ninth. Well, I'm glad I looked up there, Racer Mama. I think you're seeing some stuff I'm not seeing, because it does appear that Fuzzy Tacos and You Know a Who got into an accident.
I feel like Racer Mom may have some insider information.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Oh, there it is.
Oh my
Heavy
goodness.
hits, heavy hits. We're going to get a look at that from a different perspective here.
Was that one of the accidents that we saw earlier but never went
No,
back to?
that just happened.
Did it?
Oh.
Oh. What happened there?
So
The car just like jumped and then
Fuzzy Tacos is the one involved in that. There may be a penalty for that for sure. We're going to take a look here and see.
Goodness.
We're going to watch that one more time.
That was heavy.
Yeah, that was a heavy hit. So watching it here from the point of view of Fuzzy Tacos. Fuzzy Tacos is high in the gears here. We're going to take a look at his speed as he does this.
So he's going to go around to the right, try to get a pass.
I don't think he was anticipating anybody coming out. He actually didn't set the corner up, cuts the grass, is turning the car. It does not turn and takes out.
Nope. Yep. That's wow.
I don't think he set that corner up right.
No, definitely not. He tried to cut the grass, and he ain't a mower. He doesn't have mower blades.
Yeah, no, I'm the lawnmower in this son of a gun. Okay.
That's true. Oh man.
I officially got that nickname.
That video is so funny. I almost want to find that and clip it and put it on the YouTube channel.
You should. Make sure you get their permission, though.
Yeah, I'll have to email those guys, but that would be funny. Entitle it, Why Andrew Has the Nickname Lawnmower. Like I say, Erico and Squilliam, they are really battling. I think Squilliam, like I said earlier, I don't think I've seen him up in this high of a position in this entire series, so I'd be interested to see if he can take the position from Erko.
Yeah, it's very possible that he's going to be able to, but we're going to watch it right now to see, because this is the battle for first in class between the two. Erko has got about a half a second over Squillum right now, and Squillum may just be riding behind and, you know, keeping an eye out, saying, you know, telling Erko that I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Let's see what happens. It looks like Erko's about to get passed right now. Not Erko. Fuzzy Tacos is about to get passed right now and put a lap down by these LMP2 guys. It's Erko and Squillum is hot on his tail right here.
It was interesting. I don't know if you saw that, but look at, there was a Ferrari back there. That, I don't know if there was contact or what, but I saw some tire smoke come up.
Yeah, I did see a little bit of the smoke, but the battle on track right now is between these two guys. This is the rear camera of Fuzzy Tacos. He got the blue flag, let him go by in a safe area. Good job to Fuzzy Tacos there. Erko and Squillum are going to be able to take that position from him. Take that lap position is what you could call me. Just went a lap down with these guys. As Squillum,
a little contact.
Well, a little contact with the GT3 car, and Squillum had to use a little extra brake there, caused him to get a little slowed down. Erko's going to jump on the outside of that GT3 car, and Squillum falls behind. Wipers on the car is going off like crazy from the debris on track. You can see Fuzzy Tacos trying to maintain anything he can. Side by side, going into the final turn. Squillum on the outside, and he's going to take the position.
Wow.
Erko's going to be on the outside again, 2x2, coming down to the line. Squillum will lead that lap for points. Coming into the first chicane off the front stretch. Squillum sitting on the outside. He's in a good spot right now to maintain position. Fuzzy Taco's going to stick his nose in there without due. Erko's going to be sitting second.
There's a tiny bit of contact in that corner there, but not enough to send anybody off. So they're just going to keep their position, and Squillum's going to take over the lead from Erko.
Erko's not going to let him go down without a fight, though, as we approach the 22-minute mark.
No, Erko definitely wants a win. I don't think he's had a win this season, if I remember correctly. So he's definitely hunting one down.
This is a battle for first for anybody tuning in right now for the LMP2 side. Dickinson's got a 12-second interval over Penderperson for the GT3s. We'll go check on them in a second. But the battle on track is these two right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a big battle because Erko being a really strong driver that we've seen many, many times with Squilliam. I really haven't seen much of Squilliam, to be honest, and so he's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, these GT3 cars is fixing to play an important role for Erko here as we enter these corners. Erko's going to get a chance to get a jump on Squillum here as the GT3 cars kind of slow down Squillum. Erko does get to gain that gap back a little bit. Squillum does take those turns almost perfectly, and he's going to get off the turn just in time. Gets off track just a hair, nothing too major. And Squillum is going to be taken off from Erko right now. Half a second lead over Erko. Got another GT3 car ahead. Erko closes the gap going through the corner. Squillum side by side with a GT3 car. That is not in contention as we approach the next chicane on the course. It's a little sideways going through that chicane. He knows Erko is on his tail. Erko is beating down the door trying to get something going here. Again, this is the battle for first in class with the LMP2s. Erko closes the gap down to a quarter of a second. GT3 car is going to be in the way of him exiting the corner good, giving Erko just a little bit closer to getting that position back from the number 6 of Squillum. As they approach the final chicane coming down to the front stretch here, Erko's going to step it outside. Squillum's in a good position to get this corner as Erko goes around.
Oh no. Oh, that's bad.
Erko goes around having to wait for these cars to get around so he can get back on track. He does it here, causes Intergalactic Gentleman to go off. Sorry, it looked to be Captain CK maybe? No, it was Book. It was Book that went into the grass there. And looks like a battle, just a good battle on track that ended horribly for Erico. Let's go back and look at that.
That was just crazy.
You can see him here battling, coming down that final stretch. Erico steps it outside. Does not corner him well, locks the car up, and just gets sideways loose, and Squillum is going to go to the bank on that one.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for Erico. I did not expect that, but he was just way too far outside on that turn, and just he didn't have the proper angle and proper grip. So.
Yep, and another battle on track with the LMP2s. This is the battle for third. Eat My Dust is up 5 positions over everybody else in the LMP2 field. Lieutenant Dan is up 1 position. This is the battle for third on track. About a half a second back from one another right now. We'll check back in with them in just a second. We're going to check through the field here for the battles on track between the GT3 series. Junior McKinn right there running 12th. Canyon Racers running 11th. Looks like the GT3 cars have been able to get a lot of distance on one another here. Looks like there's some damage to the right side of that car of Junior McKinn. Garlic Dog sitting pretty in 17th right now. Trying to hold off Captain CK about 3 seconds back. Dickinson has put some distance between him and Penderperson. The gap right now is about... Let me make sure I get this right here. It's about 4 seconds to that first position. Is that right? No, it's 14 seconds. About a 14-second gap.
I was gonna say I wouldn't know either because you've got the interval times up on the tower, not the gap times.
You're right, I do.
So it's all sorts of confusing for me.
Let's change that out.
Good. Now it's easier to understand for me, at least.
Looks like Intergalactic Gentleman's got a battle on track with Erico now. Erico is making his way back through the field, slowly but surely.
I find it kind of interesting looking at the gap times between Penderperson, Spears, and Biker Pilot. They're all 7 seconds away from each other.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat little thing. And Biker Pilot and Dean are actually 14 seconds, which is double right there. Just a little.
Yeah, and we see this with the GT3s a lot, where the GT3s are get spread out, and these LMP2s being as fast as they are, they just stay in with one another and battle. But the problem is you have to deal with these pesky GT3 cars on a track like this. It gets tight and it makes you feel like you're riding down downtown Atlanta.
Yeah, it gets really claustrophobic, and you really got to think about where you're going, where you're going to put the car, and what moves you're going to make. So,
which Erico does have a shot here to get back up there in his position. Now he has to start looking at his strategy. I mean, we're approaching the 30-minute mark of this race. You know, GT3s will be coming into pit here soon. LMP2s will be not far behind them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these guys as they get closer to their pit window. DC5R currently holding that second position. He's got Simply Steve and Fuzzy Tacos between him and Squillum. There's Fuzzy Tacos and Squillum. Squillum right ahead of him, but that's not for position.
Yep, Fuzzy Tacos is indeed 1 lap down. Fuzzy Tacos and Simply Steve both 1 lap down.
You just see the way these guys are getting around the track here. As AJ makes a heavy move over the GT3 car of Joshua Spears. It's going to get really interesting when these guys start to head to pits here soon.
Yeah, it is, because they got to figure out when exactly to go, because you gotta maximize as much distance as you can, but not not ruin the gap that you have. And there's all sorts of different calculations going on in these guys' heads, trying to figure out when they need to go and what they need. So
that, or if they got in a real life crew chief and spotter, that's who's really doing the brains work,
And I think that's a good way to go about it, is having a separate person taking care of all that, because then the driver can just focus on racing and doing their thing.
Well, I can tell you, when I've raced the race at Watkins Glen, with the other series that I race in, I had Rob in my ear, crew chiefing it for me, spotting for me. Ended up taking home third in that race. I was a pretty strong contender with the guys in that league, and I'm not going to consider myself a bad driver for the NASCAR series, but I'm also not the best, and I was able to take home third at a road course in a NASCAR. I mean, that's unheard of for me. And it all was because, he come up with the decision to pit early. Everybody else did not pit, putting me in that position to be in third. It was a good move by Rob. It was all Rob's idea, and it worked.
And as long as you got the right person in charge of all that, and doing all the calculations for you, as long as they're they're knowledgeable in what they're doing, you can make some pretty big moves.
Like, I had the equipment, had the race labs up telling me when I needed to pit, but having a computer tell you when to pit versus having somebody actually sitting there, okay, if we pit this, we have this to go, and have some reason behind it. That's when things actually work.
Yeah, just some. It's like a second set of eyes, like some verification. You have this theory, and then you gotta put it to the test, and having someone doing that for you and giving you verifiably verifiable information that can really make the difference in a race, that helps.
Yep.
That's something that a computer really can't do.
That is accurate. Well, as we approach, we are at the 32:31 second mark, 32 minute 35 second mark now. We're going to take you side by side for a quick little break. I'm going to grab me a drink. We'll be right back. Pit stops are happening on track. GT3 cars have entered, some LMP2 cars have entered, and it has shaken things up in the race as of now. Pit stops are not taking as long because these guys are not going for tires yet. Some may go for tires here at the end of the race. We don't know. Second place is on track right now. Lieutenant Dan will pass him for that second position. However, Lieutenant Dan has not pitted yet. You'll see a lot of these guys on track trying to get something going after this pit stop. Try to get as much speed and try to get as much distance in between these guys as possible, like Lieutenant Dan. Captain CK, Joshua Spears, all are not in contention. Joshua Spears and Dean or not Dean. Book are in contention for a spot here, but the gap is about 3 seconds. Squillum is still leading. Squillum has not pitted yet. He's trying to get as much distance over P2 as he can. The gap is about 9 seconds, so it's not enough there. As you see P2 in the distance there. I expect Lieutenant Dan and Squillum to pit at the same time when they decide to go in. And Squillum will enter pit lane right now, almost getting to the rear end of Dean.
Oh boy.
Lieutenant Dan is going to set up and not take the pit stop. He's going to go one more time by. He will lead, will not lead that lap. He'll have to get around one more time to lead that lap, because Squillum passed that start finish line before he could get there. So he's going to have to go around one more time. Will he have enough fuel to make it one more time? I'm sure he does. But he'll have to get that position, he'll have to go one more time. As you can see there, Eat My Dust is battling with you-know-who, which is a GT3 car. GT3 cars all over the rear end to Eat My Dust. He's trying to catch up to DC5R, who all pitted between lap 24 and 25 there. Erico has entered pit lane behind Squillum. Squillum is exiting finally. Squillum taking a 20-second stop. It took about a minute to get down and completed off that pit stop. Give it a check here. Simply Steve may actually hold out and get see if he can gain a lap back or two with him pitting on lap 3. We've seen that earlier happen. AJ has moved his way up to second for the LMP2s. Lieutenant Dan has finally entered pit lane here. Looking for second on track for the LMP2s. Looks like AJ will be the second place car who will be lining up to possibly go down pit lane. We'll see here as he does hit pit road at this time. We'll keep an eye on these GT3 cars.
It's going to give Squilliam a chance to gain some ground, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to gain enough to really make a huge dent. Seems like he's actually increasing the gap somehow.
Yeah, it was weird. I seen that too. That was kind of weird.
Yep, then it started dropping down, and it looks like it will count him in first.
Yep, Squillum will move that first position. DC5R is currently holding that second position. He is going to have Lieutenant Dan right on his rear here. This is a battle for second on track. Appreciate everybody who has stopped by, and give a shout out to everybody, Racer Mom, all the other ones that are in the chats on all the different platforms. We do appreciate it. Long Island Nerd and Garlic Dog, the gap is about 10 seconds back. Dickinson has still got a commanding lead over the GT3 field. That lead is about 30 second, about a 22-second gap back to second. Had to find it there. I mean, we see it all the time with Dickinson. I mean, he's just that good of a racer.
Yeah, he is. He's a fantastic racer, fantastic person, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Penderperson just doesn't have anything for him tonight. 21-second gap to first place between the two. Joshua Spears is sitting about 14 seconds back from Penderperson. Erico is sitting in 6th right now. Erico pitted on lap 26. You know, Erico was involved in that incident earlier, fighting for first, getting loose going into the final chicane.
Yeah, I did see him move up as high as 3rd, but then he pitted, so he did move back to 6th. So.
Well, the car's got to run on something, and it can't run on hope, faith, hope, and love.
That's true.
It's actually part of an Alan Jackson song.
I was about to make a movie reference to Down Periscope, but I don't think the quote would make any sense here, seeing as how we're not using diesel engines.
No, but I'm thinking I'll have to pull some wiki facts on these LMP2 cars. But I think these cars are 6-cylinder or even, maybe even 4 cylinders.
Let me find out.
I'm gonna look real quick. LMP2 wiki. Le Mans prototype. All right. They are V8 naturally aspirated petrol engines holding. It's a 4.2 liter. So really, I mean, with this, besides it having 8 pistons, it's basically a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
With the liter size, anyway. LMP3s have a Nissan engine. That's pretty cool. Lieutenant Dan is battling on track right now with DC5R for second. Erico's battling with Galactic Gentleman as they get in the wall.
Oh.
Bumping by Lieutenant Dan and DC5R. Lieutenant Dan will take that position from DC5R, and he's not going to let it go without a fight. Side by side down through the first chicane. DC5R will pick it up, get in a good position to potentially cross over. Does not get it. He's going to be looking for revenge after that hit.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting to see, but yeah, DCR is going to have to try to get some position back and start fighting.
Start doing something.
He's going to make Lieutenant Dan catch these hands. As the kids say. Is that what the kids say?
Is that what the kids say nowadays?
I don't know. I've heard it so many times. I'm part of this generation, but I mean, hell, we're both part of this generation. Neither of us understand it. I guess we're old timers.
I feel like I should have been born in the 1920s.
Maybe. We're in the wrong era. Well, I say that. That's kind of negative, but I guess we're in the right and the wrong era. Our mentality is not meant for this era. But
oh, okay. Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, because we're old timers. We're anyway.
I'm 25, Jacob. I'm not.
Yeah, but
Not
still.
I'm not. Hold on. I seen it in the chat earlier. Oh yeah, I'm not Sean Dickinson's age of 30. I mean, God, he's old.
I don't think Racer Mom's gonna be happy with that. Better not be calling him old. He's not old.
Oh no, I'll be
He's
30
anywhere
in less
close
than
to
5
old.
years.
Well, still. You know what I mean by mentality is like we don't follow this. We don't follow the norms of what today's society is all about. You know, we're a different kind of people.
I'm waiting to hear it from Racer Mom. I know she's gonna give me hell. I know she's gonna give me hell.
This is gonna be funny.
Take back and look at this battle between DC5R and Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan's still holding that second position on track.
Yeah, DC5R really he is. You're not old, okay? Nobody's old.
Except for Sean.
No, he's not old. Nobody's old. Okay?
You're right, you're right. I'm old.
You're not.
Book is involved. I'm sure I saw Book's name tonight.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Wait. Book's in the what? He's.
So Book, you got somebody driving for you, man? Or are you the same Book here?
Is it, I wonder if that is the same Book.
Love you too, Racer Mom. Love you too. Oh, we got a close battle on track right now with these two. We've been watching here for a minute. DC5R is looking for Lieutenant Dan for that position. You can see he's mimicking every move through this S corner here, looking for something. DC5R looks on the outside, does tap the rear end of Lieutenant Dan, getting them a little squirrely as we approach the next set of chicanes here. What is going to happen with these two?
DC5R is just not going to have enough. He tried to step outside, but just couldn't make it happen. Didn't have enough draft.
Well,
he's gonna try it again here. He's going to step outside.
Step outside,
And
2x2, coming down to the final large hairpin turn.
DC5R had to back it off, otherwise he was going to turn Lieutenant Dan off there. So he almost
Typing
had it.
on the straights.
Typing on the straight. That's texting and driving. We do not condone this.
As long as he don't cause any incidences, I'm not going to say a word.
We here at the United Racing Network are not responsible for anything that happens on
You
track
know
or in
what?
real life.
I put that at the end of every freaking recording. So
Oh man.
I need to record a new one.
Yeah, maybe.
We do not condone texting while racing.
Yeah, we don't condone that. We don't condone drinking and driving. We don't condone.
What? I
Texting
drink
and
water
driving.
and drive. What do you mean? Not? I'm joking.
I mean, if you've got one of those like what are they, the camel? What do they call them? Camel packs. You just put that on your back and have a straw. That's all you need. You know, you're not distracting yourself. You're not taking your hand off the wheel.
My Lord. Jacob,
I don't condone that either. I'm just
Jacob,
saying.
I'm going to fire you if you keep on talking about it.
No. Oh, jeez. Please don't fire me. Oh, man.
No, I use Siri and drive, you know. That's always fun.
Oh, jeez.
There's another GT3 car that's going to be in the mix here between these two and the LMP2 cars. And I know I'll hear it from these guys come soon. But I do apologize for not showing off the GT3s near much. But the battles on track are between the LMP2s right now. We're trying to keep an eye on them as much as we can.
Yeah, there's way too much of a gap between anybody in the GT3s, so it's just not there's not as much going on there.
Yeah, Erico's battling with Intergalactic Gentleman for 5th here.
Yeah, Erico's still looking for revenge. Or still looking for some track position to get back from the incident he had earlier.
Actually, DC5R passed Lieutenant Dan back there in the corners. DC5R just had a larger run there off that straight.
Yeah, I think he was using some draft there and just had a bit more speed. And that's all you need.
Well, he hit a little bit of clean air too on that front end. That definitely helped. Erico's looking to pass Intergalactic Gentleman here as they go through the chicane there. All these guys in the GT3 cars, I mean, we'll go through the list here in a minute, but Dickinson's gap right now is up to 26 seconds over Penderperson, and the gap to Spears and Dickinson is 44 seconds.
Man.
It's only taking these guys about a minute 30 to get around the track, so they keep it up like this. I mean, Dickinson's going to make a full pass in the field.
That's what it feels like.
As long as these hard and charging LMP2 cars don't grab him here. Even if he wrecked and got off track, he'd still have enough time to get back on track.
Yeah.
That don't mean test the theory. I'm just saying.
No, they tested the theory. There might be some penalties involved. So let's not do that.
You see these guys getting in traffic here. Right along with Simply Steve as he goes through this traffic. As he locks it up.
Locks it up and just no turning there.
Approaching the hairpin turn, going to the final stretch. Takes it inside of these GT3 cars. These GT3 cars know these guys are coming, so they go on the outside wide, which slows themselves down from Dickinson really doing that, but they've got to give way to the faster cars.
Yeah, they have no choice but to do that. That's just the rules of multi-class racing.
They're still battling with Intergalactic Gentleman for that 5th position. Using every inch of racing surface they can. You see right there in front of them, Book and Dickinson. Dickinson's trying to pass Book, but he just can't right now. He has to be patient as these as these LMP2 cars get on by. Dickinson takes it on the outside of Book, and takes another lap car down. These guys are getting into traffic here.
Yeah, I think some of that slowed Dickinson down because his gap over Penderperson has actually decreased by about 3.5 to 4 seconds.
Yeah, but you can see Dickinson just overtaking everybody on track right now as he gets ready to go around Garlic Dog. Actually, take that back. He goes around Garlic Dog. Lieutenant Dan and Eat My Dust are still battling it out on track for that 3rd position. 2nd belongs to DC5R, who was battling with Lieutenant Dan earlier.
Man, it's crazy how close they get to that wall on that turn.
Yeah, it is.
It's Simply Steve. I know I know Simply Steve wants to get some position back after his incident earlier in the race.
Who was that now?
Simply Steve.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what happened with Simply Steve.
Yeah, I'm still trying to rack my brain on that one. He just locked it up in the corner that he was in.
I mean, he didn't even touch anything. I didn't see him hit anything, unless he got a penalty of some sort. I don't have the penalty screen up to see, and that's one thing live timing needs to put into these races is actually like, or into the live timing, because if they have it, I don't know how to implement it. But actually, a flag counter, it shows who gets what.
Yeah, or even like an active flag overlay or something, where it shows flags that are actually active.
Yeah.
Like it just pops up instantly or something. But I don't know. think that was mostly Rob's job is to find the penalties and everything, but I don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately, for these races.
Yeah, Simply Steve, I don't know if you were here for it, Racer Mom, but on lap 3, he actually just stops the car. Let me see if I can find it here because it was a weird incident. This is the incident on lap 3 with Simply Steve. Simply Steve does well through the corners here, and something happens right here where he just locks it up and puts it onto the apron there. I'm thinking maybe he either got it's too early in the race for him to get an incident issue. I don't know.
Yeah, something happened, but I think we'll have to get clarification after broadcast because.
Yeah, because Simply Steve was a fast driver. Simply Steve actually fell. I'm looking here. Stand by. Simply Steve, where are you
He was
at?
up towards the front, I believe.
He fell 6 positions with that. I mean, he's currently fell 6 positions from his starting. And you know who getting taken out by Fuzzy Tacos. Actually, it's Fuzzy Tacos goes right on by again. Oh!
Contact. Oh, my goodness.
Prince Adams is involved.
Good thing we caught that.
Not sure what happened. So this is Prince Adams' point of view here. It was like he just got loose off of the sausage curbs, and so did Fuzzy Tacos. Fuzzy Tacos does a good job recovering. And I don't think
that's a racing incident. He was trying to turn out of it and he just couldn't.
Yeah, who was that was involved with him? That was a Garlic Dog? No?
No, I don't believe that was. I believe that was as you know who.
Yeah, it was. Prince Adams, as you know who.
Yeah, so that one he went over it. He didn't jump the curb like most of them do. He went basically straight over it, and then the back end jumped it, and it caused him to slide a bit. It got him just over enough where he couldn't turn out of it.
Yeah, the Battlestone track is still between second and third and fourth, right behind. You can see them 2, 3, and 4, all in line with one another. My Dust is trying to get something over DC5R. It looks like Lieutenant Dan has fell back to that 4th position. If I was going to race these cars, I'd be racing the LMP2s.
Yeah, yeah, I think I would too. Even though I'm a Porsche guy, but
these cars just look really fun to drive.
Yeah, they're really fast too.
Erico made the pass over Intergalactic Gentleman.
Oh, that's good.
Here's that pass right here. See them side by side coming down that final stretch, and Erico, which is where he messed up before, learned and just gets it in there, and it looks like Intergalactic Gentleman was not going to slow down for that corner, but Erico does make the pass and has put a considerable amount of distance between him and Intergalactic Gentleman. And we are at the 1 hour mark of this race. 30 minutes ago, we will be crowning a champion in less than 30 minutes. Squillum is still in first by a long shot. DC5R has got two GT3 cars to get by to get to Squillum. And after that, it's Eat My Dust, who has 4 cars to get by. Who will win the race? We shall find out right after this ad break. Well, Jacob, I'm excited to crown a champion here in less than 30 minutes. As it sits right now, if the race ended, Squillum and Dickinson will be our winners tonight. As you see, these two guys getting super close to one another, leading in their respective fields. Second place for the GT3 series is Penderperson with about a 27-second gap back, or up to the leader here. We can see that. I mean, that's not looking good for Penderperson. Of third is probably where he's going to sit tonight, unless something major happens to Dickinson. These guys will be pitting at least one more time. We see Joshua Spears exiting pit road right now. I say that as Dickinson heads to the pits. Squillum is setting up a good corner here. I don't know if the LMP2s will have to pit again or not. We shall see. Battle on track is between Lieutenant Dan and Eat My Dust for that second position. I'm sorry, for that third position.
And as Racer Mom says in Twitch chat, Eat My Dust in third. It's great for him. It is great for him. He's been doing... oh my, what just happened there?
Eat My Dust just went into the pits. Made a... that was a sketchy move. That
was a jinx. I talked about him, and then all of a sudden, he's in the pits.
Let's watch that entrance. Pit lane here. He's getting ready to go in, and he basically fakes it out. I don't know if... he may have called a time penalty for that. Maybe not.
Maybe.
It was a good fake out, though, because he's going to be able to get some fresh tires and some gas, and we'll be able to get back on track. EC5R is looking to get up to Squillum now, but the gap between the two is 17 seconds. Squillum has shot off like a rocket. Basically, he took the rocket car of Intergalactic Gentleman's car he was going to use to go to Mars, and He's using it here in Montreal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lieutenant Dan has got Erico on his tail, but there is one car between them, and that's Simply Steve. Simply Steve is the outlier here. Erico's actually loose on that rear end there. His tires may be cooked.
That's a good possibility. I just noticed looking at the timing tower that Captain CK is actually out of this race.
Let's see if there's any incidences with him. Looking back through, I'm not seeing any incidences with Captain CK, so maybe something... Oh, I take that back. Here's one. This is on lap 22.
Down, so it's been a little bit.
Which Captain CK had a lot of issues. There it is right there.
Yeah, I think he did have a few, at least a couple incidents.
There's no cameras to get a good look at him there.
Yeah, it looks like he had done the instant tow to the pits for that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Didn't even notice it. That was 18 laps ago.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either. I didn't see it happen on the live timing over here. Simply Steve is trying to keep up with Lieutenant Dan, even though that's not for position. But behind Simply Steve is Erico, who is charging hard to get up there to Lieutenant Dan. That'll be for podium. You know, he's involved in that incident earlier, spinning, battling for first with Squillum.
Yeah, I know for a fact Erico wants to get at least a podium. I think he's had a couple of podiums this season.
Yeah, he has for sure. He's even picked up a win, I believe, this season. We're going to ride with him here as he goes through these chicanes and down that front stretch. Thanks, Racer Mom. Yeah, we love interacting with you guys. If you want to chat with us, we're more than welcome to chat with you guys. We'll try to catch all the action on track that we can. We love all the interactions you guys want to give us. You feel we're worth. Racer Mom shows up every week that we've been doing this, and chats away with us as Erico gets going through these chicanes. He is catching Lieutenant Dan there. Lieutenant Dan gets held up there by that lap traffic of the GT3 cars. Erico is hard charging right now. Erico pitted on lap 26. Lieutenant Dan pitted on lap 27, and Simply Steve pitted on 30. So these guys all have relatively same tires and gas mileage right now, or gas in the tanks. So Penderperson is got a good gap over Joshua Spears. That gap is sitting at about 54 seconds. Tonlo, we definitely miss you. Hopefully we'll be back next week. With that being said, Jacob, where are we headed next week?
We're headed to Sebring next week for the final sprint race.
Is that the track that was a World War II airport at one time?
Sebring?
I think it is. It's in Florida, isn't it?
Let me do some research right quick.
Because that's a cool track. Like, there's a lot of history with that track.
Sebring International Raceway.
Where's it located? That'll tell me if that's the one or not.
It is in Highlands County, east of Sebring, Florida.
Okay.
And yes, it is. It occupies a portion of the Sebring Regional Airport, an active airport for private and commercial traffic. It was originally built as the Hendricks Army Airfield, which was a World War II training base.
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember the folklore tale of the planes over in that flew over the Bermuda Triangle and basically disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
They flew out of that airport.
It's a very cool little fun fact. But yeah, we're heading to heading to Sebring next week for the final sprint race, and then the week after, the Crown Jewel endurance race, a 2-hour race.
Be the final race of the season.
Yep, be the final race.
And stand by, Jacob, because we have a battle on track. Prince Adams and who battling out for 12th right now. Who is trying to get something set up there on the corners, can't get it done. Prince Adams blocks off every move that he's making here. He gets it inches from the rear end of who. I'm sorry, of Prince Adams. These guys are trying for something right here. These guys are battling hard on track. Erico sitting in a good position, trying to get above Simply Steve, but just can't get it done. Oh, it's somebody behind is around.
Uh-oh.
Simply Steve is around.
Oh, no. Yeah, Simply Steve, he's had a decent race aside from the beginning bit with the brake lockup and everything, but it's another incident here. Same corner, too.
Yeah, same corner, different exit. Just gets around coming through that corner. He does keep it off of the wall, it looks like.
Almost tags. He was very, very close to tagging it. The reverse of the man actually tagged the wall,
but that's going to give, let me make sure I got this right here. That's going to give Lieutenant Dan and Erico a chance here as Erico takes it to pit lane. Lieutenant Dan has not pitted yet. Last time Lieutenant Dan pitted was lap 27. If he's not been saving, he's going to have to come into the pit lane, which probably gives Erico a shot here to get into that third position. We shall see. We're approaching 15 minutes to go here in this race.
not much time, so these guys are really going to have to be battening down the hatches and really pushing the cars for everything they've got and making sure they've got everything they need.
Yeah, pushing for everything they need to get a position. As you see, Eat My Dust and Intergalactic Gentleman, they got a 6-second gap over one another. We're going to go back to that battle on track between these two right here. Prince Adams and You Know Who side by side entering the chicane. Some contact there between the two.
Oof.
You Know Who is going to get the brunt end of the stick on that one. Going to fall back about a half a second, a little over half a second back of Prince Adams. Make sure to stick around for our post-race show. We'll be talking to the winners only. The winners only of this race will be chatted with. And, get a chance for them to talk to you in the fan stand. Why do they call it the fan stand? That sounds pretty good. Why do they have to call it the grandstands? It could be called the fan stands.
I guess you can call it either or. The grand fan. Mix it up. Grand fan stands.
Say that 5 times real fast.
The fans grandstands. See, now that I say it, neither will make it sound good. Anyway.
The fan grandstand. I
don't know if it sounds right.
In other words, he's telling me to hush.
If I was going to tell you to hush, I'd just tell you to hush.
Looking through the field here. We're going to go through and tally up where people are sitting as of right now. LMP2s. Squillum is our leader by 24 seconds. Lieutenant Dan is in second. DC5R is in third. Erico in fourth. Eat My Dust is in fifth. Intergalactic Gentleman in sixth. AJ's in seventh. Fuzzy Tacos in eighth. And Simply Steve is rounding out the field in ninth with the LMP2s. Let's go over the GT3s. And for the GT3s, Dickinson is leading by 27 seconds. Penderperson following is in second. Spears in third. Biker Pilot fourth. And fifth is a Nicolator. Sixth is Dean. Seventh is Nerd. Cannon Racer is in eighth. Garlic Dog to be exact, is in ninth. Book is in 10th. Junior McKinn is in 11th. Prince Adams is in 12th. You Know Who is in 13th. And 14th belongs to Captain CK, who is out of this race. Simply Steve looks to make a pass on Canyon Racer right here.
Every time I see Cannon Racer's name, it makes me want to say Canyon Racer.
That's what sounds right?
Yeah, but no, it's Cannon Racer, and it's not even like the sort of cannon that you would think, the cannon with two ends in the front. It's canon as in like a show or a movie or something, like a storyline.
I watched this, or I didn't watch. I listened to this podcast today. That was an absolute mind F.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Spotify, and I'm not going to endorse these guys because I don't know if they would invite me to do that. But it's called Case 63. If you like good podcasts, it's a good series. Takes about an hour to finish it. I recommend it highly. Case 63.
Did you see a car stopped on the track back there?
I didn't know.
That was interesting. It looked like there was a car stopped on the outside of the track.
We get notification that Prince Adams has crashed, so we'll take a look at that. But
I don't know if it was. Yeah, it may have been.
Oh, almost grabs Erico there.
Yep, that's the one. We were watching. We were on board with. Can't remember who there, but we were on board with somebody, and they passed by, and I saw the car, and I was like, "That's not supposed to be there."
No stopping on track, guys. It's not time to get a latte.
I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right.
It's not time for a latte, guys. My gosh.
I say the pumpkin spice latte thing is come and gone.
Has it come and gone?
I mean, yeah, it's no longer. I mean, pumpkin spice latte is supposed to be a Halloween thing, right?
I think it's just a fall thing.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. Let's ask my wife.
I don't know if she's. She's ready to.
Real quick, Lieutenant Dan, not pitting, did get the lead a lap. Lieutenant Dan is leading right now over Squillum, but Squillum did pit on lap 52. So if Lieutenant Dan can hold what he's got it. But he is going to hit pit lane right now and lose that position.
I mean, he had to. He had no choice. I mean, he'd be pushing it. He'd be running on fumes if he kept going.
Yeah, for sure.
So Squilliam is going to take his position back, and if he can hold it for the next 10 minutes, he'll have it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody in contention. Closest guy is DC5R, but the gap is 21 seconds.
Yep. So I mean, theoretically, if the checkered flag were to appear now, then Squilliam and Dickinson would be your class winners. But we're not over yet. We're still got 9.5 minutes left. So there is still some racing.
Yeah, still a little bit of racing to go, and Dickinson. I mean, he's got the largest gap right now, 29 seconds over second place.
I don't know how he does it. I've seen this multiple times throughout the season. I just don't know how he does it every friggin' race.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but whatever he's doing does work.
That is for sure.
I mean, we seen first. That was first. Penderperson is just now getting onto that long front stretch there, getting to pit lane. So, I mean, you can see the amount of distance over. I mean, you got almost a half a track over.
Yep.
Erico is trying to get in position to battle for third, but it's just not going to happen right now. But there is a battle for second on track. DC5R and Lieutenant Dan battling it out once again. DC5R knows that Lieutenant Dan's going to be looking for that inside move, so he's going to be battling, or he's going to be defending that move. Got a lap car of the GT3s coming up. It looks to be the Pez car of Penderperson. Sorry, that's not a Pez car. It's up front. That's up front Motorsports of Penderperson.
Well, that would be some pretty decent alliteration there. The Pez car of Penderperson. Penderperson Pez.
He's going to be looking for a sponsor now, Jacob.
I mean, hey, you know, I love a Pez sponsorship. Haven't even done anything with Pez in like over a decade.
Are they even still a thing?
I would imagine so. I'd hope so anyway.
I don't know. They're just hard candies. I just there's a meme about Pez dispensers giving out Vicodins.
Oh my!
Yeah, it was bad, so bad.
Are we allowed to talk about? Is that PG-13? I don't think that's PG-13.
Sure it is. Vicodin's just a medication.
Oh jeez, yeah, but we're gonna leave it right there. Apparently Pez is an Austrian brand.
I can see it.
That's very interesting. It was invented in 1927.
You telling me that candy was out before World War II?
Apparently.
You telling me that candy made it through the Great Depression?
It sure did.
That's why it's so damn. With everything, I'm sorry, rephrasing what I'm saying. Lieutenant Dan is battling DC5R for everything he's worth, trying to get the position of second. But as you can see in the distance, Erico is trying to close in. We've got less than 6 minutes to go. Can Erico close in and gain a podium this evening? We shall see, because when these two start battling it out, they could take each other out and Erico go right on by. So this is what we're going to watch right here.
Erico's going to be hawking down Lieutenant Dan, especially, you know, as we mentioned earlier, after incident that he was in trying to battle Squilliam. Erico's, you know, he's out looking for something.
Yeah, Erico, when the battle with Squilliam, I mean, it was just a racing incident where he just got a little too free in the corner there and got, you know, locked it up and turned it around. But you can see 1, 2, and or I'm sorry, 2, 3, and 4 battling right here. Erico's not necessarily in the battle yet, but he's hawking. He's just kind of hovering over it, wanting to get that position. You see the amount of distance right here between them. Looks like Lieutenant Dan got a little loose there coming off of that corner. DC5R's around.
Uh-oh.
Erico moves into third. Yeah, leaders are killing it. Racer Mom, 24-second interval over Dan. A 33-second interval over Penderperson. Let's go back and take a look at the DC5R incident. I had a feeling it was going to happen. He just locks it up, gets loose, almost gets stuck on the sausage curbs there.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Now Erico is looking for second.
He's looking for second, but if he can hold third, I think that would.
We're going for every position on track for Erico. Erico is trying to get whatever he can. He does have a lap car in front of him. Got to make a move very, very patiently here. That's going to give Lieutenant Dan just enough time to gain a second over Erico right there. Erico's looking for something. .180 miles an hour coming down the stretch. Slows it all the way down, getting the car sideways. He went from 180 to 100 miles an hour in less than probably 300 feet.
That's the Brembo brakes on these things.
He's a little loose there. He does overshoot that corner. DC5R is 3 seconds back. He's going to get fourth.
You're absolutely right, Racer Mom, Dan and Erico. Can't wait to see this finish.
This finish is going to be wild. They're trying everything they can. Erico's getting a little too free in the corners, though. He's starting to overdrive that car just a little bit, and that's causing Lieutenant Dan to get that just much ahead. The gap has come down, though, to a half a second as they enter through the chicanes here. Gonna have a lap car. Gets by him, no problem. Gets up here and gets ready for the hairpin. These cars are designed to speed up very quickly and slow down very quickly. As we watch right here, up to 160 in fifth gear, up to sixth gear, 180. Coming down to the final chicane, down to first gear, just like that. Trying to get something going, less than a half a second now.
Yeah, I was watching the telemetry there. He cut his speed in half in a very short distance. I mean, that's just shows you the power of the brakes on these.
These
machines.
guys are getting really close. We have less than a minute to go. This is the battle for second.
Erico's just mimicking everything that Lieutenant Dan's doing. He's really trying to see if Lieutenant Dan's going to make a mistake, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. We're not going to count him out yet. Very close racing coming out of the S curves.
20 seconds. That's all they've got.
They should have one more lap to go after this. The leader has not taken a white flag. We will be at the 1:30 minute, the 1 hour and 30 minute mark. The hairpin turn. Erico gets a good jump off that corner, gets a little loose coming out. Lieutenant Dan gets the jump. Checkered flag is in the air for Squillum. Squillum will win the race. Erico will be looking to do whatever he can. You can't pull a Ross Chastain here at Montreal. It is not welcomed.
There's not enough space for it either.
And Lieutenant Dan will bring home second. Erico will bring home third for the LMP2s. Dickinson and Penderperson still on track, battling it out, but the battle is not there. Dickinson will bring home first for the GT3s. Penderperson is still on track. Everybody bringing in their checkered flags here.
Yep, all of the LMP2s have finished, so they've all crossed the line.
Biker pilot got a white flag because everybody else took a checkered, so he's got to go around the track all by himself here. No pressure, but we're going to ride with him. Slows down to second. Actually, no, it is showing him as a checkered here.
Yeah, as I say, I think the only one that that didn't have a checkered was Long Island Nerd there for a minute. But he has had a checkered, and everyone has gotten the checkered flag. So this race is over.
This race is over, and we are going to go through the results real quick before we bring in the winners. GT3s for this evening. Here's your final results. Dickinson comes home first with a 35-second lead over Penderperson. Dickinson lapped everybody except for Penderperson.
That's nuts.
Joshua Spears come in third, Biker Pilot fourth, Nicolator fifth, Dean in sixth, Long Island Nerd in seventh, Cannon Racer in eighth, Garlic Dog in ninth, Junior McKinn in 10th, Prince Adams in 11th, Book in 12th because he was texting and driving. 13th belongs to you know a who, and Captain CK did not finish this race. You know I got to mess with you, Book. In the LMP2 series, here they are. Squillum takes home the win. 21 seconds behind him was Lieutenant Dan. Erico was following in third, just could not make the pass there at the end. DCR5 ended up in an incident. Falling back to fourth, Intergalactic Gentleman took home fifth. Eat My Dust in sixth. AJ in seventh. Fuzzy Tacos and Steve, Simply Steve, was both a lap down. Is the winners ready to chat?
They are indeed. Which one do you want first, Dickinson or Squilliam?
Pick one.
I think we'll go with Squilliam. We haven't ever talked to him, so. Squilliam, check up the booth. How you got me?
Hey guys, what's up?
It's going pretty good. Heck of a race, man. I don't believe that we have talked to you on the broadcast at all this season, and I haven't really seen much of you in kind of the top few positions. So I'm interested to know kind of what your strategy was tonight to take home the win and kind of talk about the win.
Yeah, I mean, I got into a groove, I think, and just was able to keep slamming down some really consistent lap times. I feel like my time in J2i as I've gone through this past year with them, I've gotten better and better, and I felt like I had a really good chance at least a podium in Hungaroring, and had that disconnect, and then I've just had in-unit issues and not been able to race the past couple races, and so to be able to come back my first race back in like 6 or 7 races it's really awesome to be able to get my first win ever. So pretty emotional moment for me, to be honest. And I mean, it was an awesome race.
Yeah. So you got extremely lucky there. You were battling there with Erico there at really the beginning of this race, and he just overdrove it a little bit in the corner, and you took advantage of that in that final chicane. Just talk about the moments leading up to that, what you were thinking to get around him.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of getting to the point where I was content with just sitting behind him and saving some fuel. I felt like I had a couple tenths of pace over him, but the dirty air, just getting through some of those chicanes and the lap traffic too, I just couldn't get up to him. And so then, whenever I was finally able to get past him, I was just trying to defend anytime he went for it around me. And I mean, he was hot on my heels for a good bit there. And I do wish he could have raced some more with me up there. And it's unfortunate he locked up like he did. And but yeah, I was just trying my hardest to keep him behind me and try to just make some gaps up with some traffic, because the traffic around here is pretty rough. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw people closing gaps and making gaps with getting through GTs. So
it was definitely something to watch. It looked like Atlanta traffic, to be honest with you. There are these tight areas of this track. I seen you're a Georgia boy. Is that right?
I am from Savannah, Georgia, so down here way in the south. But I've had my fair share of Atlanta traffic, so maybe that's what's prepped me for this situation. So
maybe I drive through Atlanta at least once every 3 months, It's not fun. I don't enjoy it, but it is what it is.
Certainly, certainly.
Well, good job. Congrats on your win tonight. Go grab you some whiskey if you're old enough to drink, and enjoy this moment, because my first win in a league, I was ecstatic for it for a whole week.
Oh yeah, I am too. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Is Dickinson around?
He is indeed. Let's chat to him for what feels like the I don't know, umpteenth time at this point. Oh man. Dickinson's check up in the booth. How you got me?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I don't know what else to say other than you're the winner again. It seems like we talked to you quite a bit. So here at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, how do you feel about the win for the GT3s?
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad the setup worked out. Tires never really fell off or anything, so it's pretty proud that I was able to keep that working the whole race. So
Yeah, so I don't know if you're aware, but there's a movie called Days of Thunder where the crew chief tells the main driver to hit the pace car because he's hit everything else on track. Well,
yeah,
you should have just
perfect.
Well, he wants to be perfect. Well, you were one car away from being perfect tonight, lapping everybody on track. What made you so faster than everybody else? So we need to get the car inspected for blue flames. I mean,
yeah, it's the nitrous bottle in there.
Yeah.
No, I almost lapped. So I got lapped up to 5th. I still had Biker, Josh, and Robert in front of me. I did not lap them yet.
According to timing, I'm gonna pull it back up here just so I'm to make sure I'm reading it right. But according to timing,
Oh, I think I ran one more lap than everyone else. I think everyone else got the white flag before I did.
that may be it.
That's probably what it did.
Yeah, maybe.
It may be it, but it's showing that Penderperson was the only one that you did not lap, according to our records.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. I was on the radio with Josh. He said he got the white flag on the lap. I got the white flag, so I did run one extra lap than he did.
Okay.
But,
well, that makes sense then. That helps clear it up for everybody because, I mean, you were one person away from being perfect from lapping everybody according to what we saw.
Yeah, it was it's pretty crazy there. There was one corner that just LMPs should not send it in Wall of Champions. The GT3s where we're railing those curbs and getting airborne through it, we're about half a second faster through those.
Yeah,
that was the only one that was like kind of irritating, but it was pretty clean overall though, so worked out.
I mean, I compared it to Atlanta traffic. You got the normal drivers that's driving 75 miles an hour, and then you have the dip. I can't say it. The I'm gonna say it. Screw it. The dipshits that weave in and out of traffic, almost killing people, going 75 miles an hour while everybody's going around about 110 miles an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me exactly of Atlanta traffic.
We got the same thing here in Arizona, to be fair.
It's wild. It's like, you know what? I'm going to see you 5 miles down the road when you got crumpled up in a car because these guys are weaving in and out. But I will say there was a lot of clean racing that we saw all the night. I hate it for, I believe it was, who Fuzzy Tacos got loose going into the corner. I'm not sure what happened there. We did go back and look at it. Do you happen to know what happened with that?
Yeah, so he missed his braking point. That's what it was, and he ended up going way too fast into it and ended up off track. So he already knew he messed up. Unfortunately, it took out Noah, but he had actually been involved in 3 accidents throughout that race. So he retired. He was like, I'm done. Not worth it. So unfortunately, he had some bad luck in there. Josh had a little bit of bad luck, but he was able to still drive the car with the damage. So he was able to, continue on and didn't lose any positions. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Well, Squillen picked up his first win tonight. So make sure
that was awesome.
when you see him tonight, make sure you tell him congratulations. And for you tonight, congratulations. How do you feel about Sebring next week?
Well, you were talking about that perfect race. I think that might be it. I am really fast at I'm not that fast at this track. I got Sebring down, so I'm hoping for the best there.
Well, not that fast at this track, but you ended up in first. I don't know how you can say you're not fast. You're in first.
If you have you heard of Precision Racing League?
I have not.
Okay, they do some like really high end GT racing. I do those every Tuesday, and every week I get my ass handed to me. Last week was the first time I got a podium in that league. So,
I think JP is in that league.
Oh boy.
it's,
I think he's talked about that league
Yeah.
before.
there's some tracks I'm good at. Like I'm pretty good at Sebring.
Well,
So I'm happy for that one. I'm looking forward to that.
what I'm hearing is he's going to go back to World War II and get one of his fighter jets out and just fly the track. And
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it is a World War II, or former World War II airbase. So.
Yep. Makes sense with how bumpy it is.
Oh, dude, it's
It's gotta be
ridiculous.
that old.
It's so part of the actual runway and the tarmac is the racing surface. That's why it's so bumpy. Actually coming out of the final few, I think it's final 3 corners, is all runway.
Oh, I got you. So you go up that back straight, that's the runway, and then you
Yep.
go around Sunset, and
Yep.
the other side that. Oh, because that's all concrete. I bet that's like.
That's where it is. Wherever the concrete is
Yeah.
where the tarmac is. Yep.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
wild.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Love to. I guess you didn't know that fact, huh?
No, I did not.
That's also. I don't know if you know the conspiracy of the fighter jets getting lost in the Bermuda Triangle.
Is
That
that
left
the
in
base they were
Florida.
flying to?
They flew from that base.
Oh.
So
Okay. Well, maybe it's better that it's a racetrack.
yeah, maybe.
That seems like it, yeah.
Well, good
Yeah.
luck, and we'll see you. Are you racing the Porsche races next week?
No, I hate that car.
No, he
Oh, that's right. I
doesn't,
forgot. Forgot.
Yeah, he doesn't race sprint. He just races the endurance. So
Nope.
we'll
You'll
see
have
you in 2 weeks then.
a 2-hour race next week. Are you preparing for that? Is that going to be like a teams race, or is it all going to be
Not
one
really.
driver?
No, still one driver. We
Whew.
just got a couple more. I think we'll have 2 or 3 pit stops and probably tires, but we'll see what we can do.
Yep.
So
Well, good luck, Dickinson. Your mom was in the
Thank you.
chat.
Yep.
Your mom was in the chat. She's
She's
always in the
involved.
chat with these, and we love having her, and I hope she enjoys watching. So.
no, she does. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, and we
Yeah,
will
2
talk
weeks.
to you in 2 weeks. I know we'll
Sounds
talk to you in
good.
2 weeks.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, you too. Oh man, that was a good race. There was some interesting, very interesting moments, some multi-car incidents, and that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I am again overall very impressed with these drivers. These guys race well each week, and it shows. It shows every week. I mean, it was awesome to watch, and I am glad to see that it's over because I mean the hour and a half races, they're long, they're fun to see, but at the end of them, I'm just so tired.
That's true. Yeah,
I'm so tired.
that is very true. And also if you wanted to know the PG-13 version of the word dipshit, it's dipstick.
Oh, well.
That's.
I
one
guess
way you
that
can
makes
do it.
sense.
Yeah,
Makes
see? You just call
sense.
someone a dipstick. It's actually funnier than calling him a dipshit. I just got us demonetized 3 times. Oh, jeez.
It's all
Actually,
good.
you got us demonetized. Actually, I don't even know if demonetization affects the latter half of a stream. I think it's only like the first 30 seconds you can't swear. But we have a 5-minute intro, so we're fine.
Oh yeah, we're fine. We're good.
I mean, maybe I don't actually know. I'm gonna have to do some research on that.
All right, Jacob. I'm gonna take us out of here. Guys, we enjoy everything that you guys do in the chats. We love you guys being here with us each and every Wednesday night. We've only got 2 races left. So make sure you jump on the bandwagon of the URNW. We will be back here next Wednesday at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. And then the week after that is our Crown Jewel race. So we will get the official start time for that race. It will start earlier. So when we get the official start time, we will post that on our social medias. Make sure you check out Instagram. We will be doing updates throughout the off season for what we're going to next. We will be in talks with some new leagues and some current leagues, trying to get some screen time back for them. So make sure you pay attention to our socials to keep up to date on what we're doing. We love you guys. Jacob will be joining me next week for the sprint race. It's going to be awesome to see at Sebring. And I don't know, did you see Sebring when we were with the other league?
Probably, but I think I was probably mostly focusing on back end stuff, so I didn't really watch it.
Well, you're going to be in for a treat. Sebring's awesome. Make sure you stick around, or make sure you come back next Wednesday night and catch that action live on the United Racing Network. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on Twitch. Go follow all 3 channels if you will. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube to change our URL. We love you, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys. This broadcast is the property of the United Racing Network and Twitch.tv. All reproductions of this broadcast must be approved by the United Racing Network staff. United Racing Network does not claim any responsibility for mishaps that may occur while listening to this production. United Racing Network reserves the right to delete, mute, unpublish, and/or move streaming locations without notice. The opinions of the announcers are not influenced by sponsorship, league administration, or any other outside